very much. Ladies and gentlemen, they say that history never repeats itself. But tonight, the ARIA people present in honour a trio who have proved that history does indeed repeat itself, and in their case, endlessly.
Like all great stories, this one begins humbly. It is 1956, and a 9-year-old and his 6-year-old twin brothers are singing the popular hits of the day at a local cinema. Who could possibly have guessed what was to follow?
Robin?
Morris.
And Morris. Now you all sing together, eh?
In 1958, they emigrated to Australia, and that's when I heard Barry and the twins singing at the Redcliffe Speedway. We recorded some of their songs and played them on the radio. Mind you, success didn't come instantly for the young Gibbs. From the clubs, they graduated to nightclubs and television. They released 10 singles between 1963 and 1966 on local labels Leadin' and Spin.
Righto, chaps, let's have a check. Black? Check. Check. Righto, right, strike. Okay.
But it was the 11th single that was priceless for the Bee Gees. Spicks and Specks was released and hit the top of the Australian charts in late 1966. The first coming of the Bee Gees had begun. Arriving in England in early '67, they hooked up with a man who would become their ally, friend and mentor, legendary impresario Robert Stigwood.
In the event of something happening to me.
New York Mining Disaster 1941 was released in April that year and gave them their first top 20 hit in both the UK and the US.
It's just a photograph of someone that I knew. I'm going back to Massachusetts.
And then when Massachusetts went to number 1 in the UK, the Bee Gees' rise to superstardom was as instant as it was natural.
I must go home.
Fueled by an unequaled gift for songwriting, the brothers unleashed a remarkable string of hit albums and singles over the next 5 years. In the early 70s, the brothers moved to Miami, where they discovered their soul roots and joined forces with the great producer Arif Mardin, and part 2 of their career began. In 1975, they released Jive Talkin'. It set the stage for what can only be described as a cultural phenomenon, Saturday Night Fever. 20 years after its release, the album has sold more than 40 million copies and remains the biggest soundtrack of all time. From October 1977 to April 1979, the Bee Gees wrote and produced 6 consecutive #1 US singles: How Deep Is Your Love, Stayin' Alive, Night Fevered, Too Much Heaven, Tragedy, and Love You Inside Out, the only recording artists ever to do so. In the early 80s, the brothers wrote and produced classics for other artists such as Dionne Warwick, Diana Ross, Barbra Streisand, and Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton. In 1987, You Win Again from the ESP album found the Bee Gees at #1 on the UK charts again. The third coming of the Bee Gees had begun. It was followed by Ordinary Lives, their spiritual anthem One, and in 1991, Secret Love burst into the US top 10.
How deep is your love?
In 1996, Entrance, Take That and Boyzone all hit #1 with their versions of Bee Gees songs. The fourth coming had started. Now, as the Bee Gees celebrate 30 years on the world scene, they're back where they belong, on top of the charts with their latest smash hit album, Still Waters. The Bee Gees have sold more than 100 million albums, been nominated for 16 and won 7 Grammy Awards, recorded 29 top 40 hits, 24 top 20 hits, 15 top 10 hits, and 9 #1s. So the legend of Barry, Robin, and Morris Gibb continues.
Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me enormous pleasure to induct into the ARIA Hall of Fame the Bee Gees, Barry, Robin and Morris Gibb.
Hi everybody. Hi everybody. Thank you very much, Bill. Obviously, you're the man, and you're the first guy that ever recorded us, and we thank you for that. And what an amazing honour! It's sort of full cycle for us, and we just couldn't be more happy. It all still lives in our hearts. Those wonderful days, the days of Billy Thorpe, the days of Normie Rowe, the days of the Joy Boys, the wonderful tours, living at Cole's house with his mum, the first days of our first recording contract, and Bill, of course. Thank you again, Bill. We love you.
Thanks for the name.
Oh yeah, thanks for the name.
Ozzie Byrne.
Ozzie Byrne, Bill Shepherd, people who believed in us. Our Australian fans, thank you for your support, and thank you for making Still Waters happen in Australia. It's a wonderful surprise, and we're overwhelmed by it all. Thank you.
Yeah, we made the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I know. It's unbelievable.
Thanks a lot.
We're very, very honoured. Thank you so much.
Thanks for a great honour, everybody. Thank you.